श्री कृष्णा श्री कृष्णा श्री कृष्णा श्री कृष्णा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अथ योगानुशासनम्। योगश्चित्तवृत्तिनिरोधः। तदा द्रष्टुः स्वरूपे अवस्थानम्। Now today we will start from the third sutra. The yoga was defined as chittavritti nirodha, where the chittavrittis are suspended, and it is only the suspension of the chittavrittis cannot be called as the yoga. It can be called as samadhi, where the chittavrittis can be shut up. But if these chittavrittis are kept quiet under the first three conditions of the mind or the chitta bhumika, called as the kshipta, mudha and the vikshipta. Under these conditions, when the mind is kept quiet, and this is what people can do through LSD or drinks or drugs, their mind becomes chittavritti nirodha, or by afim and ganja. Their mind can become suddenly quiet. But this chittavritti nirodha is not on the chitta which has attained ekagrita, the single pointedness. And therefore, what happens to such people? They are extremely kshipta, mudha or vikshipta, extremely disturbed. And when they take these drugs or the drinks, as a result, they feel total freedom from all these modifications in the mind called as the chittavrittis. And as a result, they feel a kind of a kick, aha, yoga is being experienced. And it is continued as long as the drinks or the drugs are operating. The moment the drinks and the drugs are quietened or they are thrown out of the body, again the earlier condition of the kshipta, mudha or the vikshipta again begins. So when it is kshipta and vikshipta, then such people, after the use of those drugs and drinks, they again become agitated and more violent. One extreme. Another extreme, they become more depressed and dejected, because the chitta was always in the mood of bhumika when they have practiced this chittavritti nirodha. And therefore only chittavritti nirodha cannot be called as the yoga. This is what we have seen in yesterday's talk. Two more things we have seen. That chittavritti nirodha which will lead us to tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. That chittavritti nirodha which will lead this seeker swarupe avasthanam, will lead to the abidance in the self. So if the chittavritti nirodha takes you to deep sleep, it is not samadhi. But if the chittavritti nirodha is helping you to discover your essential conscious self, where the mind is dissolved in the consciousness, chittam chitta vijaniyat takara rahitam yada, because from the chitta the sense of otherness is deleted, and it is because of the sense of otherness alone that the chitta becomes the kshipta, mudha and the vimudha. So the chittavrittis nirodha becomes yoga. Suspension of the thoughts can become yoga under two conditions. Condition number one, when this chittavritti nirodha is practiced after having made the chitta or the mind ekagra. Therefore, all earlier spiritual practice, wherein we do our puja, pothi, our regular thing and discipline, yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, all these things are meant for bringing the chitta to the ekagra bhumika. And if the chitta is not in the ekagra bhumika, we get the attacks of spirituality. Many people get, extremely spiritual suddenly. And after a few days or hours or months, again they go back to the same dull-wittedness. What is the reason? Because they were practicing it under the wrong condition of the mind, either kshipta, mudha or the vikshipta. Therefore, the earlier spiritual practice must be to bring the chitta to the ekagra bhumika. And when the chitta has thus become ekagra, and then you practice chitta vritti nirodha, then it will take you to the sarupa avasthanam, then it can be called as the yoga, otherwise not. And by the long practice of this, chitta ekagrata and the meditation, slowly, the chitta becomes niruddha. Chitta becomes niruddha means what? Thereafter, the chitta is not at all objective, not a single objective thought ever arises. And as a result, the asampradnyata samadhi or asampradnyata yoga takes place, which is the ultimate. Now, to tell this is the third sutra. So, the Sambandha Bhashya, Bhagwan Vedavyasa writes, Tadavasthe chetasi vishaya bhavad buddhibodhatma purusha kim svabhavaha iti. Tadavasthe, which is that avastha? That avastha when this chitta has become asampradnyata samadhi or asampradnyata yoga. When they say tada yogaha chitta vritti nirodha, so tad avasthe, when the chitta has become totally niruddha, in that condition, chetasi, in the chetas, in the mind, vishaya abhavat, there is total absence of objectivity in the knowledge. Please understand this point. Many people miss this simple but very subtle point. That knowledge which gives rise to the experience of not I-ness is called as the objective knowledge. And this is because of the sense of otherness. Like, when I see this box, in the perception of this box, my knowledge is, then I am not the box. Because there is a sense of not I-ness, otherness. And as long as there is a sense of otherness or not I-ness, the thoughts are there. Because thoughts are that knowledge where the vritti bheda, aham vritti, idam vritti bheda is vibrant. And in this asampradnyata yoga, when the chitta has become niruddha, has become totally free from objectivity in knowledge. So tada tadavaste chetasi, in that chetas, in that mind, vishaya bhavat, there is total absence of objectivity. Many times we imagine vishaya abhavat, there being absence of objects. Objects are born out of the mind. See? In the deep sleep, where are the chairs and tables and the country and the religion and the guru and the shishya? They are all born out of mind. The moment the mind is born, everything appears. Then the mind is totally enfolded. There is no sense of otherness. Everything is over. Therefore, vishaya abhavat means that knowledge in that chitta vritti nirodha, the sense of objectivity is completely erased. Vishaya bhavat, Buddhibodhatma Purusha, this Purusha, who is otherwise Buddhibodha. Buddhibodha means when he was in the condition of Sampradnyata Yoga. We are taking these two conditions. One is Sampradnyata, second is Asampradnyata. When the seeker or the Purusha is in the Sampradnyata Yoga, there the thoughts are present. Ekagrata. And there the Buddhi's modification in the form of the thought is there, and this Purusha gets completely identified with the thoughts, and thereafter he expresses as if he is a thought. Where? In the Sampradnyat Samadhi or Sampradnyat Yoga. That is why the Jivan Mukta Purushas are in the Sampradnyata Yoga. Because they are finally and firmly abiding in their own self, pure consciousness, and yet they are functioning through the thoughts, through the vrittis. So what is the difference now? The difference is, ignorant people are living as thoughts, therefore as body, and the Jivan Mukta Purusha is living through the thoughts and through the body, but as consciousness, and the Videha Mukta, where he is established in the Asampradnyata Yoga. He is no more concerned about anything because the experience is homogeneity, undivided conscious bliss. So, here in the Sampradnyata Yoga, Buddhi Bodhatma Purushaha Kim Subhavaha. So, in the second stage, from the Sampradnyata Yoga, he has gone to the Asampradnyata Yoga. So, Buddhi Bodhatma Purushaha, the one who was illuminating the thoughts. Now, there are no thoughts in the Asampradnyata Yoga. Then what happens to him? He also disappears or what? It is here that the Buddha's philosophy comes. They call it as the Shunyavad. And this Shunyavad, what is said by Buddha is different. And what is interpreted by the Vedantis, the same thing is different. That's why there is a lot of fight, and I enjoy that. What Buddha means by the Shunyavad, that there is absence of objectivity. There is nothing. Like, Purushanna param kinchit sa kashtha sa paragati. So, like our Kathopanishad tells, subtler than the senses are the sense objects, subtler than the objects are the mind, subtler than the mind is the intellect, subtler than the intellect is the Mahat-tattva, subtler than the Mahat-tattva is the Prakriti, and subtler than the Prakriti is the Purusha, and Purushanna param kinchit. So we should not interpret, after the Purusha there is nothing. So as if nothing is some object. No. What is meant? Purushanna param kinchit, that the Purush alone is. Similarly, here also when they say it is total abhava, the great void, this is the word used in the Buddhist philosophy. So, the great void means what? There is a total absence of objectivity and there is an experience of homogeneous blissful existence. So, Buddhi Bodhatma Purusha Kim Subhavaha. Now, what is the nature of this Purusha who has totally discarded all the thoughts? What is his position? So, to tell this, now the third sutra begins. Tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. Bhagavan Vedavyas writes, Swarupa pratishtha tadanim chiti shaktihi yatha kaivalye vitthana chitte tu sati tathabi bhavanti na tatha. How beautiful it is written. Now, tada means what? When the Purusha has attained the Asampradnyata Yoga. So, tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam So tada means asampradyata siddhi kale, nirodhavasthayam. When he is in this chitta vritti nirodha sthiti, when there is asampradnyata samadhi. Chiti shaktihi. Chiti shaktihi is nothing but a purusha tattva. See, yesterday also probably I told you, these are the different words used. Brahman, neuter gender. Chiti, feminine gender. Atma and Purusha, the masculine gender. But all of them mean the same thing. Why? Because in the absolute reality there is no gender problem. Gender problem begins when there is a duality. And therefore out of this gender only the whole world is created. So, now, Swarupa Pradishtha Tadanim Chiti Shaktihi Yatha Kaivalye. So, Yatha Kaivalye, just like in the Kaivalya. What is the meaning of Kaivalya? According to our Vedanta Shastra, we know what is the definition of Kevalam or Kaivalya. Here, the Vijatiya, Sajatiya and Swarupa Bheda is totally absent. So, Vijatiya Bheda is what? The difference between the animals and the plants. They belong to two different jati, Vijatiya Bheda. And Sajatiya Bheda, among the plants, there are different types of plants. All are plants, but they are different types. Sajatiya Bheda. And Swagata Bheda will be within the plant, there are something called as the roots, something called as trunk, something called as the branches, or the leaves, or the flowers, etc. So, all these three kinds of differences are totally absent. Now, in this pure reality, what are the three kinds of differences possible? First, Vijatiya. Vijatiya is the consciousness versus inertness. They belong to two jati, Jada and Chetana. Then what is the Sajatiya? Sajatiya Bheda is, there are different types of jivas. All are jivas. Some are Papatma, some are Punyatma, some are Adhogati, some are Uchchagati. So, Sajatiya Bheda. And Swagata Bheda, within that Jivatma, he is born, he is going from one life to another life. Sometime he was a human being, sometime he was an animal, sometime he was in the Tiriya Yoni. So all these Bheda, Jiva Jagat Ishvara, similarly the other Sajatiya Bhed is the Bhed between Jagat to Jagat. And the Bhed between Jagat and the Ishvara is the Vijatiya Bhed. The difference between the Jagat and Ishvara and the Jiva is the Sajatiya Bhed. Jiva is miserable, Ishvara is happy. Jiva is Alpa Shaktiman, Ishvara is Sarva Shaktiman. Jiva is Alpa Vyapi, Ishvara is Sarva Vyapi. So all these differences are totally absent in the absolute reality. And that homogeneous experience of undivided existence is called as Kaivalya. And this is our Kaivalya Dham. See? Yatha Kaivalya. Oh, this is the meaning of the Kaivalya Dham. So there should not be any difference, no difference. If you are seeing differences, something is wrong with you. Everything is but one reality. There is no difference whatsoever. So here, by using the word Kaivalya, what is achieved is the nature of the Purusha is also told. So what is the nature of the Purusha? When this asampradnyat samadhi becomes absolutely firm, then there is no possibility of any thought process, objectivity, and one attains kevalatva. Now second, vyutthana chitte tu sati tathapi bhavanti na tatha. And vyutthana chitte, that means when the we are talking about asampradnyata yoga. What is asampradnyata yoga? Where there is not a single thought eruption. There the existence is only the conscious existence, not the thoughtful existence. It is the thought-free existence and conscious existence. So in this asampradnyat samadhi or the yoga, with reference to this, even the sampradnyata yoga or the samadhi is the vitthana, is coming out of that condition. Means what? Consciousness absolute is asampradnyat yoga or samadhi. Consciousness with the thought is the sampradnyat samadhi, because there is objectivity. So when the Jivanmukta Purusha is living in this world, he is definitely living with the objective understanding. And he has the freedom. So when somebody is coming and talking to him, he doesn't get lost. That now this fellow is talking to me, whether he is me or I am he. No. His knowledge never gets clouded. But his firm abidance in the absolute is always the same. So, in comparison to the asampradnyat samadhi, even the sampradnyat samadhi, where the thoughts are, it is called as vitthana, coming out. So how the consciousness we leave consciousness, that means we come out of the consciousness by the thought. That is why, if you remember, I have been emphasizing this point again and again. Consciousness with the thought is mind. Mind free from the thought is consciousness. Therefore, all that we have to do is to mind our mind. And once this mind is taken care of, you are on the right path. But normally what happens? We want to use our mind to control other minds. And then frustration comes. You know why this frustration comes? And when this frustration comes, it's a fun for the others and tragedy for you. How it is fun for others? Because I am the one whose mind is not under control, and I am the victim of my mind. Then I want to control your mind and you. And who are you? Same specimen. The one who is the victim of your mind and the one who is not keeping the mind under control. Very good. Now I, the uncontrolled fellow, want to control you, the another uncontrolled one. It is something like that. You must have seen, in the sea, nearer to the beach or even in the river, when they want to keep the boat or the now parked, so they will keep it there and take a long rope and somewhere on the ground to one firm thing they will tie down, so that the boat doesn't run away with the wind or with the flow of water. Now if we think like that, both the boats are in the water, and let us tie them down to each other so that they will not go. Both of them will go together. हम तो डूबे हैं, शर्म को भी साथ लेके डूबेंगे. And this is how we become miserable. Therefore, all the spiritual practices only focus on this thought. So, tada vitthana samaye. So, vitthana chitte tu sati tathapi. Now, in fact, see the beauty. Tathapi, in the condition when the thoughts are being thrown out of the consciousness, that time also consciousness is consciousness. See? This Chitti Shakti doesn't undergo any modification. The ocean never undergoes any modification when it is expressing as the waves. See? From the point of view of the ocean, the presence or the absence of waves does not add or delete anything from the ocean. See? But we, who are the onlookers and looking at the waves, and we are riding the boat which is buffeted by the waves, we will be affected. So here also, vitthana chitte tu sati tathapi. So, when the asampradnyat samadhi is broken, or we are in the sampradnyat samadhi, naturally When even the Samprajñat Samadhi is called as also a disturbance with reference to the Asamprajñat Samadhi, what to talk about the earlier three conditions? There is nothing to talk about. That is why, most of the people who are coming and asking about this, they are 99% in the Kshipta Bhumika. Agitation, frustration, anger, failure, success, and then they say, Swamiji, we want to do meditation. So as if meditation is a means to attain freedom from foolishness. No. If you start doing meditation keeping the foolishness intact, you will go more fool. Do you understand? You can see this thing in the various stories of our Puranas, Mahabharata, Bhagavad, Ramayana. See, in Ramayana we come across. When this Ram-Ravan Yuddha was going on and Rama was becoming very difficult to be handled, so Indrajit, he goes and does the yajna with all sincerity, invoking the strength of the mother. So, invoking the strength of that mother is nothing but invoking that consciousness, nothing else. And when that consciousness strength is invoked, it is invoked by whom? A Kshipta Purusha, a Mudha Purusha, or a Vikshipta Purusha, or a Ekagra Purusha, see? And therefore, when the japa is done by a ill-designed mind, he will develop those powers and use them to curse others. Because the mind does not become pure. See? That is why one should focus attention more on these earlier three conditions. Otherwise, we imagine that by meditation we will control the mind. No. Mind is disturbed because of the foolishness. So get out of the foolishness first. So what is the foolishness? Foolishness is that the worldly objects have got all the happiness. Without that, our life is incomplete. Unless I get those objects, I will not be happy. And therefore, our mind is constantly throwing desires. And then the desires have no end. This uncontrolled desires is called as the Kshipta mind. And see the Kshiptata, they desires, how they take the form. First we are desire ridden in the worldly things. So we are Kshipta. Then we come on the spiritual path. And when we come on the spiritual path, the Kshipta mind is intact. So there then we start, let me have Rudraksha Mala. Then we go and see in the various camps and various holy places. Oh, this Mahatma is having Rudraksha in the gold. Oh. So another thought comes. Then I'll go and get my also mala made into gold Rudraksha Mala. Thereafter, wherever I go to take bath, and I had to remove this mala. So I am not in the Ganges, I am all the time with that mala. Somebody will take it away. Samsara begins. See? How important it is. Earlier, I used to have a separate place for me. Nobody should sit on my chair in the dining. There are places you may have seen. I move in the whole world, so I come across many examples. I don't have to search for examples. In many houses, there one particular chair is for one particular person. And nobody can sit over there. On that seat, only he will sit there. So that is regarding the worldly disturbances, Kshipta. Then meditation. Nobody should come in my meditation room. Then you enter that room, it is nothing but a go down. All the world is contained inside. So this Kshipta Bhumika is brought from the samsara to the spirituality. Therefore, please remember, unless our mind is educated, only by mechanical application of the pranayam and the asana, nothing will happen. Bhagavan Ramana told us very clearly, prana bandhanat liyate manaha eka chintanat nashametyadaha. So only mechanical application of the brake for the thought formation, which is done in this chitta vritti nirodha, is not the answer. Therefore, in this vitthana sthiti, the consciousness is basically consciousness, undisturbed by the thoughts. However, say nirodha samadhiyam apeksha samprekshyata api vittanameva. So, vitthane yadrusham chittam iti vitthana chittam tasmin chitte vitthite sati. So, when this chitta is full of thoughts, then tu vitthana chitte tu sati tathapi. Sati tathapi, the teraiva prakarena. The consciousness is consciousness. That means in the sampradnyat samadhi and all other, it is consciousness alone. Tathapi bhavanti na tatha. Tathapi bhavanti na tatha. Bhavanti na tatha is together. So, vitthana chitte tu sati tathapi. Although in the vitthana chitta, when there are thoughts, the consciousness is undisturbed, tathapi, even then, bhavanti na tatha, but it doesn't express as consciousness. See? Again try to understand, I'll repeat it. Before marriage, man was man. After marriage, he doesn't become an animal. He continues to be man. Tathapi na bhavanti. He no more expresses as man. He becomes the most disgusted, miserable existence. Isn't it? A man can be immediately found out to be differentiated from the husband. Who is the husband? Who refuses to smile. How can you smile when there is a load on your mind? So in the same manner, in all conditions, consciousness is consciousness. It doesn't get affected. But in case of the vitthana chitta, when the mind is or the consciousness is ridden with the thoughts, it gets as if identified with the thoughts and no more expresses as a consciousness, but starts expressing as a conditioned consciousness called as the thought. So the thought gets enlivened. See? So the limitations of the thoughts become more powerful. And the one which is enlivening the consciousness or the thought, that pure consciousness, the enlivening factor, the consciousness, becomes subordinate. It is something like this, you know. One day one mother was telling me, Swamiji, my son is pretty good, you know, but what happens, you know, in the bad company, he is spoiled. He now smokes, drinks. You please tell me what I should do. I said, you should provide him smoking material, drinking material. You are the mother. No, Swamiji, you are telling something wrong. I said, that means you know. But he doesn't listen to me. I said, naturally, children are always like that, they don't listen. Swamiji, he is 60 years old. Now you can imagine what a joy I must be getting. When these old mothers, they complain about their child. You know, some people have got that funny notion. There is one Amma, a Sindhi Amma, very old. She is about 75, 80. She cannot climb. She has to go only by lift. Maximum 2-3 steps she is gone. And whenever I go and I call her, Amma, how are you? From the first day onward, don't call me Amma, Swamiji, I feel I am old. And this she said before her son and the daughter-in-law and the children, grandchildren. And the grandchildren are married with the children. So when she said like that, everybody was feeling so awkward. How can Dadima talk like this? I said, Acha beta. Now from that day onward, I always call him beta, and she's so happy. See? So much identification with the body. Don't call me old, I am young. Arey Baba, you are beyond age, beyond time. So, tathapi na bhavanti. Although this consciousness is consciousness under all conditions, yet vitthana samaye, at the time of the thought eruptions, as if gets identified with the thoughts and starts behaving as if it is a thought. So, the impact of the bad things is quicker and more than the impact of the good things. It is late. See? To understand that if you do this japa for so many years, then you will get that siddhi. You keep on doing it. It takes a lot of time to construct. It takes a lot of time to create. But to destroy anything, it takes no time. So, this vitthana samaye, consciousness, is as if overpowered by the bad things called as the thoughts and start behaving like that. Now, na tatha, na tereva rupena prakashate iti sheshaha. So, because in association with the buddhi vrittis gets identified and starts expressing like that. Now here one word in this sutra, tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. Now this tada word is explained in this commentary in a very good manner. What is said prior sutra? Yogaha chitta vritti nirodha. Tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. Meaning only that chitta vritti nirodha, only that suspension of the thought which will lead to the realization of the conscious self is called as the yoga. And that chitta vritti nirodha which will not lead to the realization of the consciousness is the roga or the bhoga. See? I always wonder that, like, when we go from here to there, so while going, do you think we go thought free? No. And go and dash something, hey, I'm sorry. Why? Because the mind is constantly working. When these animals go from here and there, do they think? This is my always, thought. If they are not thinking, for example, they are not thinking at all, they are just going, then do you mean that they are yogis? No. So only freedom from thought is not the ultimate. That freedom from thought should take us to our conscious reality. Now see the difference. I am poor is a thought. I am rich is a thought. I am papi, sinful is a thought. I am punyavan is a thought. So in all these, where relative existence is kept intact, is no yoga. What is the yoga therefore? Yoga is that where relativity is transcended and abidance in the absolute is attained. That is called as yogaha. Therefore, tada, that time, sarupe avasthanam drashtuhu. The seeker, he comes to establish in his own conscious self. Therefore, this should be clearly understood. Here, one more commentary of the Vijnana Bhikshu, which is considered to be very important commentary, tells तदा द्रष्टुः स्वरूपे अवस्थानम् इति वक्ष्यमाण सूत्र साहित्येन एव अस्य लक्षणत्वात् तथा च द्रष्टु स्वरूप अवस्थिति हेतु चित्तवृत्ति निरोधः क्षिप्तादि अवस्थासु नास्ति इति नाति व्याप्ति ही संप्राज्ञस्य च स्वरूप अवस्थिति हेतुत्व असंप्रज्ञात द्वारा अस्ति इति एव. So here this Vijnana Bhikshu tells that by this sutra tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam, what is meant that what will be told in this subsequent, that is the fourth sutra, that when this drashtu, the seeker, is not in the asamprajnata yoga, then vritti sarupyam itaratra, then he is getting identified with the other thoughts, and therefore yoga is only that where swarupe avasthanam, and therefore samprajnata yoga, where the thought is present, is a step. It is the immigration counter, and after that you are stamped, then you can go into the asamprajnat samadhi. This is how samprajnata dvara asti iti eva. So swarupa prapti hetutva. Therefore samprajnat samadhi is like a means for attaining the ultimate, the asamprajnat samadhi. Katham tarri darshita vishayatvat. So the question is, then in these other conditions where the drashta is not in the asamprajnat samadhi or the yoga, that time how does he expresses? This is now said in the fourth mantra or the sutra rather, vritti sarupyam itaratra. See now the whole thing, if you read, this is the beauty of the sutras. And because we read the commentaries, there is interpretation, we get lost. But if you read simply sutra with understanding, yogaha chittavritti nirodhaha tada drashtuhu tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam vritti sarupyam itaratra. That means when drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam na bhavati, when the seeker or the yogi is not abiding in his absolute self, vitthana samaye, that time what happens? Vritti sarupyam itaratra. This is how the whole thought process is. So, vitthane ya chitta vrittayaha tad avishishta vrittihi purushaha tatha cha sutram ekameva darshanam kyatireva darshanamiti. चित्त मयस्क कांतमणि कल्पन सन्निधि मात्रोपकारी दृश्यत्वेन स्वं भवति पुरुषस्य स्वामिनः तस्मा चित्तवृत्ति बोधे पुरुषस्य अनादि संबंधो हेतुः. Now here this sutra and the commentary gives us a very deep insight. What did it say? First of all, we will see this thing. Katham tarri darshitatvat. So, in case of this, when the drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam na bhavati, when the seeker is not established in the asamprajnat samadhi, then vishaya darshita vishayatvat, darshita buddhya vishaya yasaihi sa darshita vishaya chitihi tasyaha bhava darshita vishayatvam tasmad yathoktat buddhi. See, darshita vishayatvat means what? In other conditions, when the drashtu is not established in the conscious self, then that time this consciousness is expressing through the thoughts. This is what it is here, darshita vishayatvat. So consciousness has got now two choice options. Either exist as consciousness or exist as consciousness through the thoughts. So when the consciousness is existing as consciousness, it is called as asamprajnata yoga or chittavritti nirodha. And when the consciousness opts for the second option, wherein the consciousness is existing as the expressing through the thoughts, then it is vritti sarupyam. Then it is little different. Therefore, at that time the consciousness expresses as if it is a thought. Now, Bhagwan Vyasa's commentary. वृत्ति सारूप्यम भवति दिशेषा बुद्धेः वृत्तिभिः सारूप्यम समान रूपत्वम च इति वृत्ति सारूप्यम. So, वृत्ति सारूप्यम, consciousness appears as if it is a vritti. Now, to make this thing clear, I will give an example. Fire does not have any shape. Fire is not black, and fire doesn't have any weight. But when the iron ball is kept in the fire for a long period of time, when it has become virtually hot, red hot, and then you look at the fire, so how the fire is then? The fire has gathered the shape of that iron ball. Then the fire has gathered the weight of the iron ball. And iron ball has gathered the color of the fire. Iron is black, but now it looks red. This is called as sarupyam, looking like that. So, itaratra vritti sarupyam. So, whatever are the modifications of the thoughts, they appear to be the modifications of the consciousness. Now, in this example which I gave you about the fire and the heat, in this also, is really fire in association with the iron ball has really taken any particular shape? No. The fire continues to be formless, although in association with the iron, it appears to have taken the shape. Similarly, with the association with this iron ball, it appears to be heavy, but the fire by itself doesn't have any weight. In the same manner, here, vritti sarupyam iti vritti visaha sarupyam samana rupatvam. It looks as if consciousness is I, consciousness is that. So, ahanta and idanta, which belong to the thought or the vritti, they are superimposed on the consciousness. This is what the language of Vedanta tells. When the I-ness and the not I-ness is superimposed on the consciousness, it is called as the mind. And the second step, the I-ness is, the not I-ness is many and the I-ness is one. The third step, the not I-ness is dependent on the I-ness, and therefore consciousness with the sense of I-ness is the mind. And when you inquire into this I-ness, what is this I or what is this mind? The mind disappears, meaning I disappears. And in the disappearance of the I, tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. This is the language of Vedanta Shastra. Or in other words, when an object is known, there are two types of vyaptis. One is called as vritti vyapti, second is called as phala vyapti. In vritti vyapti, this is a pencil. So, the vritti has taken this object in its womb, and this is called as, this is the vritti vyapti, this is the pencil. And the second is, I know this is a pencil. So, this is a phala. The moment an object is seen, the seer is born. So, that experience where the seer is born is the thought knowledge. And that experience where seer is not born, knower is not born, enjoyer is not born, that is consciousness. Therefore, itaratra vritti sarupyam. So, it is only in the asampradnyata yoga there is no problem of objectivity, but in other cases there is vritti sarupyam. So, in that what happens? This chitti shakti or the consciousness takes the form of the vritti. So, whether it is the kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, Or according to Yoga Shastra, we will be told vritti sarupya. How many vrittis are there? Vrittaya panchataya. See? Klishta, aklishta cha. So, this vritti sarupyam takes place. And then what happens? Then the I is born. And therefore, this vritti, which is called in Vedanta Shastra as the phala-vyapti, it is here called as, like, when this vritti is keeping in its womb the object called as a ghata. So, ghatakara vritti, and I know this is a ghata, so ghatakara vritti abhimana. This is called as the phala-vyapti. So, ghata jnanavati, pada jnanavati, aham iti rupena vidyate, and this is how the consciousness starts existing as I. In fact, in the consciousness there is no trace of I. That is why I have been always explaining you very emphatically, we are not talking about freedom of I, but freedom from I. Don't forget this basic principle. All other paths, they will be talking only freedom of I, freedom of I. We don't want that. It is only the Dhuma Marga. It is only the Dakshina and Uttarayan, Karma Marga. It has nothing to do with the reality. So, itaratra anyatra vitthana kale. So, vritti sarupyam itaratra. So, in other conditions means what? When the chitta is not in the asampradnyat samadhi. So, now the commentary tells, vitthane chitta vrittayah tad avishishta vritti purushaha. So, tad avishishta vritti purushaha. Now, the purusha becomes so one with that buddhi vritti that he cannot be separated out. So, tabihi avishishta abhinna samana va. So, the purusha, the consciousness becomes so one that it cannot be separated out. So, tabihi avishishta abhinna samana va vritti yasya tadrushaha tad avishishta vritti purushaha. This is how the purusha appears as if he is the knower, enjoyer, doer, etc. Tathaja Sutram. Now Bhagavan Vedavyas quotes Tathaja Sutram Ekameva Darshanam Khyatireva Darshanam. Ekameva Darshanam Khyatireva Darshanam is what? In case of the Vitthana Samay, when the Drashtu is not in the Asampradnyata Yoga, Asampradnyat Samadhi, Tada Ekameva Darshanam Khyatimeva Darshanam. So, these Purusha and the Buddhi, they become so one that they cannot be separated out. And this is explained through the example. Iti, how chitta mayaska kanta manikalpam sannidhi matra upakari drushatvena. See, ayaska, chittam ayaska. Chittam is chitta. Ayaska is the iron. Kanta, like Lakshmi Kanta. So, the one who is dearer to Lakshmi. Similarly, Uma Kanta, the one who is dear to Uma. Ayaska Kanta, the one who is dear to the iron. Who is dear to the iron? The magnet or the chumbaka. So, like the chumbaka or ayaska, chintam, ayaska kanta manikalpam. So, like the magnet, sannidhi matropakari. So, this chitta, the moment it comes in contact with the consciousness starts expressing as if it is the chitta. See? The moment electrical energy comes in contact with the bulb, it starts expressing as a light, as if it is a light. But electrical energy is not light. Light is an expression. In the same manner, consciousness expressing through the different kinds of vrittis, start expressing as if it is the vritti and the modification, but it is not. So, at that time, the ekameva darshanam, there is only one is recognized. Now, in the same example of electrical energy and the light, can we even separate it out? That the electrical energy going through that, then expressing as a light. So, light is the expression of electrical energy, therefore, electrical energy is different from the light. Therefore, it is ekameva darshanam and khyatireva darshanam. And what is understanding then? Understanding is electricity is light. See? So, drashtuhu, the purushaha, is the thought. How important it is. This is how vritti sarupyam itaratra, when one is out of this asampradnyata yoga, thereafter the purusha starts expressing through the medium of thought so much that although he is a Swami, the thought becomes the Swami, and as if he becomes the subordinate, and thereafter start leading a most miserable life. So, the consciousness, the Purusha, thereafter expresses only as the thought and not as the Purusha. Ayam abhiprayaha. Vitthana kale purusha buddhi vrityoho prakashanam samanakaram ekakaram eva bhavati. Bhavati atra vijikitsa. Katham purusha karena buddhi prakashanam bhavati. किं वा बुद्धि वृत्त्या कारेण पुरुषस्य प्रकाशनम आहोस्विद उभयोः अपि प्रकाशम अन्यस्य कस्यचित् वस्तुना रूपेण भवति इति अत्र सूत्रस्य उत्तरार्धः यथा तच्च प्रकाशनम बुद्धि रूपेण ख्यात्याख्येनैव भवति. So what is meant is that this purusha and the buddhi vritti, when they come together, they start expressing or getting manifested samanakaram. So with the same thing, there is no difference. And in this, the expression is that of the buddhi vritti, and the purusha becomes the subordinate. And therefore, khyati means the buddhi vritti. So purusha, the consciousness is not recognized. We recognize only the thought. Now take an example. When a person comes and he is scolding somebody. So what we look at him as? Do we look at him as that the consciousness is getting identified with the anger thought, and this consciousness, although expressing through the anger thought, is unaffected by the anger, and therefore even if he is angry, I have recognized consciousness in him. That time, vritti sarupya, only the anger is recognized, but that anger is not possible without the support of consciousness. That we cannot see. Because vitthana samaye vritti sarupyam itaratra. Now see, a person who is established in this experience that he is the pure consciousness, like in the sampradnyat samadhi. So what he will look at the world as? Only the consciousness. This is what Bhagavan Krishna told us in 6th chapter. Atma upammena sarvatra samam pasyati Arjuna sukham vajari va dukkham sajogi paramo mataha. He who is able to look upon the whole world as his own self. Sarvabhutasthamaatmanam sarvabhutani jatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshinaha. Unless this condition comes, we are far from the truth. Therefore, this buddhi vritti, yes, there is sometime anger comes and goes. There was one great Mahatma, Rakhananji Maharaj. He used to go to some Mahatma and he used to sometimes become very angry, abuse and all that. This, avdhutas, it is very difficult to stay with avdhutas. You can stay with the Acharya. Staying with the Avadhuta is impossible. Because they never teach through words. They teach you through the demonstration. They will not tell you, don't become angry. They will create such a situation that you will become angry. And as a result of their anger, you will suffer. And when you will suffer, then you will learn from that. This is their technique. Practical demonstration, no words. So, when he was going to some Mahatma, that day he became very angry, abusing all that. And after some time, he became calm. So, after food was given to him, then he casually asked, Maharaji, I love you so much, and but sometimes I don't understand why you become so angry and abusive. Why you speak bad words? Again he became angry. When did I become angry? And then he said, did I call you here in time? No. When you come here, did I tell you go? No. You come of your own, you go of your own, is it not? Yes. In the same manner. Anger comes, anger goes. Nothing happens to me. And he said further, if you feel insulted and hurt because of my anger, whom you considered as Guru, will you be able to stand the insults implanted on you by the world? See, this is how in this Vitthana Samaya Buddhivritti alone is manifested and the consciousness as if gets hidden. Therefore, Ekameva Darshanam Khyatireva Darshanam. Both the consciousness and the thought expressed together. Chittam Ayaska Kanta Manikalpam. How is the Chitta? Chitta is like the Chumbaka, like the magnet. What the magnet comes, it attracts the iron. In the same manner, this Chitta, it is like this thing, and therefore Sannidhi Matra Upakari. Sannidhi Matra Upakari, like the magnet, if some iron pieces are near the magnet, only by the proximity it attracts. In the same manner, Chitta in association with the consciousness automatically starts expressing as the enlivened Chitta, and in that the consciousness is hidden and avritti abhiman takes place, that I am the knower, etc. And therefore, further, Drushyatvena Swambhavati Purushasya Swaminaha, and na Purushayuktam Chittam Apitum Tas Sannihitam Sannidishya Purushasya na Deshataha Kalataha Tat Asanyogad Kintu Yogyata Lakshanaha Asti cha Purushasya Bhoktu Shaktihi Chittasya cha Bhogya Shaktihi Taduktam Drushyatvena iti. So the experiencer is the Chitta Vritti. This is enlivened by the consciousness, and the phenomena is born called as the I am the experiencer. And this I am the experiencer, this Chitta Vritti is the experiencer, and although this pure consciousness is the Swami, because of association and identification with the Chitta Vritti, becomes as he is himself the slave. Therefore, Drushyatvena Swambhavati. The I-ness is an expression of the consciousness through the Chitta Vritti. So, as a consciousness is the Swami. And as I-ness, I know, this I has become the Drushya. Now see, is it not our experience? Anger is there. Now don't tease me anymore. I will get angry. See? That means this Aham Vritti is also become Drushyatvena. Tasma Chitta Vritti Bodhe Purushasya Anadi Sambandho Hetuhu. Therefore, only one thing we have to understand, that you should never imagine that there has to be zero Vritti possibility. No, two Vrittis will come and go. What is our sadhana? Our sadhana is we do not behave or express or identify with the vrittis. See, in the 3rd chapter, Bhagavan Sri Krishna told us, Indriyasya indriyasyarthe ragadvesho vyavasthitau tayoho vasham na agachet tau asya paripanthinau. It will be natural that you have liking for something, disliking for something. But that doesn't create problem unless you are overpowered by the liking and disliking. This time when I went to Australia and other places, and one place I went, one Gujarati family in Melbourne probably, and very nice, very sweet family. For the first time they came, and then they came for all the sessions, and then they called me for food, and I went to their house for food. And I said, Amma, what did you prepare for me? Swamiji, you guess. I said, you must have prepared dhokla. And she jumped out of her skin. Swamiji, how do you know? I said, because I like dhokla so much that everywhere I go, dhokla follows me. And all those people who are with me, they know I don't like dhokla. And then that lady was so happy. Oh, Swamiji, I am so happy. And then this tragedy begins now. And then give one after another dhokla. You take this is also, you take this with chutney, with this mirchi and all that. And I ate all of them with all joy and nice. After that was over, then the Amma was called, Swamiji, why you have to speak lies? I said, what happened? You don't like dhokla. Why do you say you like? I said, now I like. Liking and disliking, they change. Tayoho vasham na agachet. Important thing is this. Therefore here it is said, Tasmat chitta vritti bodhe purushasya anadi sambandho hetuhu. So this will always happen. Consciousness cannot express without the thoughts. Nay, expression of the consciousness is through thoughts. See? Electrical energy cannot express unless there is a medium called as a ballab. Then only it can express as the light. But by this, electrical energy never becomes light. In the same manner that anyatra rupa vritti sarupyam, and when we are unable to separate it out, we become a suffering individual. Now therefore, what will be the next step in your sadhana now? Next step in the sadhana will be that we must be very clear that I am functioning through the thought. Therefore, this consciousness is more important and not the thought. So when we are, this is what is called as the Sakshi Bhava. And when we are thus able to observe good thoughts, bad thoughts, confused thoughts, angry thoughts, everything, okay, let them come and go. So many thoughts have come and gone, nothing has happened to me. That pure conscious reality, recognize that. That is the purpose for what this is said. Now when it is said that this vritti sarupya, the consciousness gets identified, the Purusha gets identified with the vritti so much that as if it is one, then the question comes, Purusha is one that we understand, conscious, unchanging reality, but which are the vrittis with whom this Purusha gets identified? So, ta punaha nirodhavya bahutve sati chittasya. Therefore, all these vrittis also are to be nirodhavyaha. They are also to be controlled. And to control them, we must know which are the vrittis. And therefore, the next sutra tells us, vrittayaha panchatayyaha क्लिष्टा अक्लिष्टाः. The vrittis are of 5 types and they are classified under 2 heads, klishta vrittayaha and aklishta vrittayaha. Now I'll just give you, we'll go afterward this the commentary of Vedavyasa. In short, I'll give you, vrittis are of 5 types and this is all. There is no 6th type of vritti according to Yoga Shastra. Which are those? They will be told in the next sutra probably, that these 5 vrittis are pramana, viparya, vikalpa, nidra, smritayaha. Now which are those? What is the meaning of pramana, viparya? That will be again told in the subsequent sutras. This is how the whole chain of sutra is developing the thought process. Now, this klishta and aklishta. So klishta vrittis are those which keep us in the relativity. And aklishta vrittis are those which help us in getting out of the relativity. In this manner, these vrittis are of 2 categories and 5 types. Categories are klishta and aklishta, and types are the 5 of them. The pramana, viparya, vikalpa, nidra, smritayaha. So what is the meaning of the klishta, aklishta in exhaustive details we will see in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.